Hello and good afternoon, friends. Today I want to talk to you about something that happened to a client and why I always recommend have a water alarm and turn the water off before you leave for vacation. So let's get into what happened to them, and hopefully this doesn't happen to you. So to start, the people were basically on vacation. They left for a little while, and they had somebody coming by every couple days just to make sure the house was still where it belonged. But while they were gone, what happened was lightning actually struck their well. And apparently what happened is when the lightning hit the well, the power of the electricity went up the water line into the house, blew out the copper piping, and water just started shooting everywhere. I have no idea how the well pump didn't get blown up, but it is what it is. I've seen so many clients where their wells get struck by lightning and it just completely fries everything to where the pump doesn't work. So this particular property, they got a little bit unlucky. Now, what happened was when this lightning strike hit the well, the pipe exploded. And unfortunately, it exploded in the house. And so what happened was while they were gone for this time period of a week, water's just pumping, and just keeps pumping. And the person that they hired, or they didn't hire, but the person they had coming over to keep an eye on the house, basically a friend, didn't go in the house. They just kind of drove up to the house, made sure the house was still house shaped, nothing was off. Well, the well was struck by lightning and there was no damage to the actual structure, no damage to anything in the house, so nobody knew any better about anything like that. They didn't even think to check. So when they come home and hear a noise, and they start to walk around trying to figure out what is that noise that's going on. They open the basement door and they see that up to 2 steps are covered in water. There had been so much water pumping at 10 gallons a minute that they came home to basically almost 1.5 feet of water in their basement. Like the absolute worst possible situation that could happen to any homeowner at all. Damage is no joke. Water damage can do a lot of things to the house, and it can make it very expensive to fix. Because not only do you have to fix the pipe, you might also have to fix drywall. In this particular circumstance, the homeowner had to basically tear off the entire bottom portion of their walls, redo all that drywall, the flooring, fix the plumbing, and they had to deal with all the extra debris from that storm. Now, that particular storm also knocked over a few trees in the neighborhood, so they were dealing with that too. So this became quite a project that they had to work with. So what happened was they had to go through insurance. Now, the insurance company was doing what insurance companies do, and they were trying to wiggle out of this expense because it's going to be expensive. They're having to pay a plumber, flooring guy, drywall guy, framing guy, maybe, mold guy. It's just not going to be a fun time, or is it going to be cheap? So they go through this process, they get everything started, they have these people doing their thing. It takes a couple weeks to get everything cleaned up and back to where basically they were. And I want to talk to you guys about this today because I think this is very important. I've been telling people for quite a while now, when you go on vacation, one, you got to make sure you turn the water off to the house, right? So your valve, ball valve if you turn it, gate valve if you have to turn it, whatever way to turn the water off to your home. And if you don't know where your water line shutoff is, you need to go look for it like right after this video, right? So you got to turn that off. Now, with a well, you're going to have the pressure tank, the supply line, and the pressure switch before the shutoff, which you should have, right? Now, if you shut off the water to the house, oftentimes the water's still going to be going to the pressure tank, and there's not going to be anything to really shut that off besides the pressure switch. That's where you need to make sure you turn off the power to your well pump. And you want to make sure you have the power to the well pump off, is that way if the pipe bursts underground or if the pressure tank itself bursts, the water's not going to keep running, right? Without power, the pump will not work. Meaning you might have 30 gallons of water on the floor, but I would rather 30 gallons of water on my floor versus 1.5 feet of water in my basement when I come home after being on vacation for a week. So turning the power off, super easy, super straightforward. You just go to your circuit panel, flip the switch, right? Sometimes you'll have a disconnect right next to the pressure tank. Sometimes you won't. It depends on whether or not you can see it. In our area, you're required to have a utility cutoff at the pressure tank if you cannot see the electric panel from the pressure tank, right? Now, the other thing that you should consider is a water alarm. These come in a variety of shapes and sizes, but these alarms are really good to let you know when something went wrong. For example, if you have one of these alarms and let's say you have one that's really cool and it's connected to your phone where it sends you a text. If that alarm went off and texted that homeowner, they could have gotten a hold of their house sitter. That person could have walked over to the house, drove over to the house, whatever, and they could have gone and turned the power off before it got even worse than it already did. So these water alarms are not that expensive. You can get one that you just put right on the ground for about 12, 13 bucks. The ones that'll text you, they're a little bit more expensive, like, you know, $100, maybe $200 depending, and they have to connect to your Wi-Fi. But there's products out there, right? You really got to make sure you look into these. They can save you thousands of dollars. I wanted to make a quick little video to kind of go through this with you, explain their situation, and hopefully give you some thought on what to do when you go on vacation. If you enjoy videos like this, I have videos posted every day on the World of Well and Septic. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and I look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow.